All right. Hi, welcome back. I'm Kimberly,
I'm Carly,
and we're
the Book Twins.
all right. So we're going to be doing
Book 3.
the third and final of the trilogy.
Queen of Nothing.
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but when I was reading this book, it made me think of you, Carly, because I know how much you absolutely love the Mortal Instruments books by Cassandra Clare, and there's a lot of fae in there, especially the
Yes.
Dark Artifices has a lot of fae. And when I read it for the first time, I wanted you to read it because I knew there was lots of resemblance, I guess.
That is one thing that I have really liked about this trilogy is all the fae, and they have the different types of fairies. So you have Maddock, who's a redcap, who's all about war, and who is all about fighting, and the tradition of where they take their hat and they dip it in the blood of the people they've killed was a really cool twist.
Yes.
A really cool, I don't know, twist, more of a really cool tradition, kind of
Tradition, yes. And
gruesome tradition. But...
Yes, and how they mentioned the Seelie and the Unseelie court,
and they had the solitary fae, and then you had the courts, and you had the what were some of the different kinds of fairies that they had in it?
I don't remember. I know you had the war fae, right?
I think those are the roadcaps.
Oh.
I might have to cut some of that out.
It's okay.
What is it? They were the... I can't remember the names all of a sudden. Oh no, you had the land and the sea. Yes. Undersea, that's it.
The undersea.
You had the undersea, and you had the different courts, like the court of termites, you had the court of,
Yes.
Those courts. Those ones were really cool.
Right. So the land, the undersea, and the land of termites, right?
Yeah, there was a couple more of them, but, and I'm kind of blanking on all the different names, but you had those different courts, and they had, different kinds of fairies, and they had different, almost like traditions or, perils that you had to deal with.
It's fun to see how they all play in with
Yeah.
each other in this Feyland.
Yeah. So, the first book starts out with, Jude in the mortal world, which is, it's where she came from, but it's not the land she knows, really. She grew up with all of the Fae traditions and the Fae way of speech, and that's what she knows, and now she's back in the mortal world, and
she's been kicked out, and she wants to be in the Fae world, because that is how she has...
That's where she feels she belongs.
She belongs there. She has family there. She has more or less friends there.
More or less.
And she has spent her whole entire life looking to be able to fit in and to become a value and to protect herself in the Fae, and she's been cast out. What is she to do? And then all of a sudden she's brought back into the mortal world, and that was fun. She was trying to deal with all of these human problems, like paying rent, and she can't get a job, and what are we to do? But she does have skill, but not the typical type of skill.
Right.
And so it was fun how, even though she was banned from going back, she's in the mortal world. She still found the connections and found the people that were in the mortal world who could relate her back, and that was fun.
That was fun.
And I appreciate that it didn't take her very long to get back. I'm like, man, if this whole book is in the mortal world, this is going to be a boring book. But she gets back really quickly.
She does. She gets back really quickly.
Not to spoil it too much, but
she does
hang
get back.
on.
She does get back, and then she has to, she kind of is posing as her sister to get back. And then she's kind of navigating and seeing if anyone can recognize her.
Right.
Which is
and then
fun.
There's some really great, let me just tell you, back and forth between her and Cardin. I know you're wanting it, and it comes forth. It brings in this book. And so...
You do have the conclusion of her and Cardin's story.
Yes.
And their relationship.
I think it's great. I love it. It is... it does play forth, you get pieces in book 1, pieces in book 2, and then book 3, they come to fruition, and you get to see who she is and who he is and how they're great together and how they're able to, pull and push and to make things work.
You also had the conclusion of her and Maddox's story, too.
Yeah.
Because that's a relationship that plays a huge part throughout the 3 books, is her relationship with her pseudo-father.
Absolutely. And then her relationship with her sisters. And how they kind of, they rehash some things, and they're like, okay, this is who I am, this is who you are, let's work this out, and that's great, too. Yeah. So, I really appreciate that she is tying loose strings and bringing them.
Yeah, yeah. And you don't, I don't want to give too much away about the end of the book, but it does, so it cements her position into fairy and to who she is, and I like that fact that it was very much, it happens almost without Cardan, which kind of needed to happen for her to really, truly belong in fairy.
Absolutely.
She had to do it herself and not just because of Cardan.
Absolutely. And I do like the ending. Man, I feel like I keep saying this, but I didn't expect it at all. And it makes sense, and it fits with the story and with the themes, and it feels like it needed to happen. And there's some prophecy in there, and sometimes prophecy gets a little bit wonky because you're like, prophecy versus free will, what am I supposed to do?
Especially prophecies that have to do with fairy, because they like riddles, and sometimes they don't. The riddles you think are straightforward when they don't tend to be, when they turn out to be not straightforward. And that's kind of what happens here.
Yes.
There's some prophecies involving Cardan that play out differently than what anyone was thinking.
Absolutely. And it was kind of weird that this prophecy really wasn't brought up until book 3, especially because he had been king for a little while before, and Jude didn't know about it until book 3. So that's kind of weird.
I felt like it was a prophecy that should have been brought up almost in book 1.
Absolutely.
When you had, the first king who was going away or abdicating. That is something that I feel like it could have been brought up there, and it would have played out a little bit better if this prophecy that plays a big part had been going on throughout the 3 books.
It would have tied all 3 books together better.
Yeah, because it is weird that you first hear about this prophecy in the beginning of the book, and you're just like, okay, this seems kind of random. Why haven't I heard about this before?
Yeah, it felt a little hodgepodge a little bit, but
yeah, just kind of thrown in there last minute.
Right. So, all right, rankings. Okay, so I really liked the romance portion between Jude and Cardan, and to me, it would make me happy, so I give points for that. Deduct points for how the prophecy bit and how it felt like it was a little bit one-sided in how the book is going to end.
Okay.
For me.
I would take points away also for the prophecy and for the final, battle scene that happens. I feel like it all happened a little bit too quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have, Matic in specific, I feel like he gave up too easily.
Okay, yes, I do see that. I didn't think about that before.
And there's things like that I feel like, okay, the book, it just ended a little too abruptly for me.
Right.
But other than that, I do like the conclusion with her and Cardan. And the conclusion with her and her sisters, too.
Yes.
I appreciated that. So,
I mean, to me, I would probably rate it a low 70.
I'd say about mid.
Okay.
Personally.
So let's do 76, 75?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Once again, tell us what you think. I know this was a short video, but we wanted to get all 3 of them for you, and we hope you enjoy them if you decide to read them.
Tell us what you think about all the 3 together, and how you think they stack up next to each other.
Absolutely.
See you next time.